I love the GT hood scoop, and luckily it was not damaged in the accident, so I'm ready to put it on the new hood that I got. That was the V6 hood. Very similar hood, almost identical. You'll see underneath there's a little bit of difference. But I wanted to clay bar and polish and clean up this hood before I put the scoop on, because it would be so much easier to do it without the scoop on there. So I just did that whole top section of the hood where the scoop's going to go, and this paint cleaned up really nicely, the clear coat obviously, but I did do a nice job cleaning up the whole area, and then buffing and using my random orbital buffer to just get the clear coat looking great so that I could put the hood scoop on. So this is the section I did. I didn't do below this on the side of the hood. I just did the top part here so that it wouldn't have the hood scoop in the way when I did go ahead and do the whole car. But this hood cleaned up nicely. It's the paint and clear coat are not peeling or really faded or anything. It matches pretty well. Obviously it is a little bit different, but anyway, this was what I wanted to do first, is get this all cleaned up so I can install the hood scoop. So I was excited to just go grab the hood scoop and start putting it on, and I told myself, no, you need to go back and you need to polish the hood and clean it up. So you can see how nice this came out. Looks really good. Silver metallic looks so beautiful in the sun, so I'm very happy about that. So there are several ways to go about measuring this. I tried just using a big sheet of plastic, and I kind of traced the different lines on the hood where the scoop was. You can see the outline of where it was with the double-sided tape from the factory, and so I just kind of laid that on there, and I had traced on the inner part of this vent area where the vent would be on the V6 there in the center, and lined it all up, and then I made my marks. But you know, there's a lot of different ways you can go about it, but I did have to take off the hood blanket, and that way I could access the back side of the hood for the nuts that go on. And you have to drill holes through the hood, so you don't want to drill a hole through the hood and then into the engine or a coolant line or whatever. So I did think of several other ways that I could have done this with the masking tape and, you know, measuring and all that stuff, but I did it and it turned out okay. I did have to get some 3M double-sided sticky tape, which they call like super strength or high strength panel adhesive, and I put that on the back side here of the scoop. And these little areas are known for ripping on the cars anyway, so it's a good idea to try to repair it and then put the tape on it. But you can see the factory had some double-sided tape there anyway. But it turned out pretty nicely. I was able to line it up and get it on there. And if you put it on and then you try to pick it back up, it does stretch that double-sided tape a lot. So just something to watch out for. But the bolt holes, like I said, I have to drill the holes for where they all go in, and there is a little bit of a difference on the GT hood and the V6 hood. Even though the hoods look absolutely identical on the top side, the back side of them does have a little difference, and I'll show you where that is here in a second. But when you put on this adhesive, you know, you're supposed to apply pressure for a straight minute or 30 seconds or something like that, and help it get there. Now I did have to double up and add a couple extra strips of tape underneath there to make it fit right. And see, I put those empty bottles in there to keep it from closing all the way, and also to make sure that the hood had some room up so that, you know, when I used the drill it wouldn't go down too deep into the engine bay or get anything like that. But getting the measurements right is good too, because if the scoop is too far back, then the honeycomb section doesn't have the clearance it needs in the trough of the hood, where the center section of the scoop is, where the trough goes downward. So it's just important to make sure to get everything just right and drill the holes right where they need to be and add the tape. So obviously there's more than one way to do this, and a lot of people might have some better ideas. This is just how I did it. And then looking back at it, I'm like, well, I probably could have measured differently and put, you know, the painter's tape more correctly and drilled the holes through the painter's tape and everything. But I was just trying to get it as close as I could. But you can see here, the bottom part of the hood, I had to cut out these little squares here to access the back nuts. And so the GT hood has little recessed areas there for access to the nuts, and so that is a difference from the hood, but otherwise the hood is exactly the same as a V6. And so obviously I have a V6 hood now with the GT scoop on it. You never know the difference, but the underside did have a little bit of modification to make. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. The car looks so much better now. I really didn't like it without the scoop. It really bothered me, and so I appreciate all the nice comments and all the support. Everybody's been very nice about this whole project. I really appreciate that. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more Mustang content and more progress on this car.